Guys, when it comes to having a get home bag or a bug out bag or a go bag, having something in your vehicle in case there's an emergency. Now, it doesn't have to be the zombie apocalypse or a grid down or SHTF. It could be a personal SHTF. It could be things that just happen to you on a regular day. And having those items can really be a difference between life and death, but it can also just make your day a lot better. And so guys, while we have talked about bug out bags and get home bags a number of times, I want to encourage you to take a look at your bag, your setup, go through it, make sure that it's up to date, make sure the bag's maintained, make sure the items that you have in there are good to go. And whether you carry a bag like this or a standard backpack, these are options that really, again, are just your personal preference. All right, guys, again, here is the bag, and it is a North Face Basecamp Voyager. This is not your typical bug out bag, but I do have bags that I use. But we're going to go through the contents mainly. But one thing about this bag is that it is a duffel and it unfolds, and I can get to all the items. I can find them very easily. Sometimes with a backpack, stuff gets stuffed in the bottom. You know, you can't have a zipper down the top and all the way to the bottom, but it just opens up and it just kind of falls out. This actually works really well for me. In fact, to the point that I ended up buying one for each of my family members. If you're thinking about bug out and you need to kind of weigh out, or am I going to walk? Hopefully not. That is your worst case option. But am I going to drive? Well, if I'm driving, I've got my bag in there. I can get to my items. And honestly, you need the biggest vehicle that you can use. I mean, you really need something large because you are carrying your lifeblood right there with you. Now, with this bag, again, it has really nice ripstop material here. It is rubberized coated, and it does have some kind of nylon right here, but it is waterproof to some degree. So this is going to be a great bag as far as the weather. And really, my big thing is just opening it up. Now, I do have a review. I'm going to have it up here, and you can go straight to it and look. Really, what got this started was we do a live chat on Tuesdays. It's prepper school, and I got this bag out of my car and just opened it up and went through it. I know a lot of you guys aren't going to sit through a live. It's usually about an hour. So I wanted to do something a little extra with this, since I already had it out. Again, we have a lot of handles here. We have straps that are hidden right here. I can pull them out. They're padded. A very well thought out bag. We'll look at the straps in a second. But there's two compartments on the end, and then there's the main compartment. This does not have a lot of organization, but it has the items I need, and I know where they are. Now, one thing about my bags, all my bags, is I use the rule of threes. That means you can live 3 minutes without air. You can live 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food, and medical and self-defense flow in between. And that really defines what I do for these bags. I try to go with that. Now, there are some other items that I'm going to use, but the big thing is, guys, is you need to have the essentials. Now, this small little day pack, this is really good. I mean, you can travel pretty quickly with it. If you need to be mobile, you can. It's going to be limited, but if you're just going across town and you want to have something in your vehicle just around the area, this should be able to get you through whatever you're facing. But what I really like, these harnesses are very comfortable. You got a chest strap. I mean, this really works well. And so this is a setup, but obviously any kind of backpack's great. Now, with this style backpack, while the straps are not necessarily made for long travel, this is a very comfortable pack to wear. It's only 19 pounds, and I have actually hiked with this quite a bit. And it's not bad, but to be honest, this bag is really to go in my vehicle, and that's where I want it. I like the features that I can use it right there in my car. Being on foot is definitely something that you want to avoid if at all possible, but it may be just unavoidable. So, but having a bag like this, it still works both ways. So it's that in between. If you're a really far distance from your house, you're going to want something with a little more harness, and we typically, if I'm going out of town, I'll carry something like that. But this still is very comfortable. I mean, it's made by North Face, so it's very well designed. But overall, I mean, I can travel quite a ways with this pack on. So for me, I like this bag Number two, because it works well in normal, everyday SHTF situations, what I like to call personal SHTF. It doesn't affect anyone else. It's my deal, it's my problem, and I got to fix it, and I keep items in here that can fix it in a survival situation. And sometimes I need to help with a bonfire, lighting a bonfire, and I've got my fire kit in here. Or maybe I need a towel or something to wipe my head off with, or who knows. So this just gives me a lot of different items. There is a zippered pocket over here as well that I don't always use, but here we go. All right, open it up. We do in the top compartment have a mesh net. We're going to get to that in a second. We're going to look at the main compartment. The big thing about this is, again, is rule of three. So first thing I have is my rain jacket. This is a North Face. In fact, I have 3 of these. I love this jacket. It has this wick away and it has a white lining inside. And this is just one of my favorite little rain jackets. They're not cheap, but when you're talking about survival, I keep one in my bag. I keep one at the house and one here at the shop. And then I have a ball cap. Now these are all shelter in a sense. The rain jacket is going to keep the water off. It's going to keep you from getting hypothermia. The Wazoo little ball cap has a lot of secret compartments in here, but you need something for a head cover. And then I have a watch cap. And this is just going to be something that keeps my head warm. I do have socks. Now socks are going to keep you warm, but also if you're on foot and you're walking, having socks and being able to exchange them out is going to be vital. Ask anybody in the military. And if you get the socks wet or if you need to clean them, you can wash them and hang them on the back of your pack. So I keep a couple of extra pairs. Here is water, and water's a big deal, but this is kind of large. I wouldn't necessarily recommend this except that I love the GRAYL system. It is a press fit, and this just comes out. You fill up the bottom container with water, and then you just press it, and it filters in the water. You have to actually loosen it up to get it to go because of the air pressure. But here, we're locked in. This is an excellent system, and it gives you a container. I do have a couple of other options in here. We'll look at it. Now, medical flows all in between, and I have a full trauma kit right here, and it has all kind of trauma items. Not necessarily a boo-boo kit, even though I have some of those in there as well. But here we have a tourniquet, we have chest seals, we have gauze. I do have my boo-boo kit right here with triple antibiotic ointment and Band-Aids. I have an Israeli bandage in the back. I mean, this thing is full on, and nitrile gloves as well. And you really need to have some kind of trauma kit in your vehicle because you may need to use it if there's an accident. Again, guys, this pack is not necessarily for the zombie apocalypse. It can be for everyday or personal SHTF. Fire kit. Fire kit is something that I'm always in all my packs I have. And this is a little pouch from Roaring Fire Gear. It's a great little pouch. It's just open, and you pop it open, you have a lot of different fire tools. Having multiple fire tools is going to be vital. Your Bic lighter is the easiest, most convenient, but it's also the easiest to go out. The fuel can run out, this little wheel can get corroded, and you need to keep check of your Bic lighters. So with that, I also have a ferro rod, and this is one of the fire rods from Exotac. Excellent fire starter, and you can replace the ferro rods, and you can keep tinder in the top. And tinder is vital. Here I have the tinder tabs, and I also have some Vaseline cotton balls. And you need to be able to start a fire. I also have some fat wood here in the back. I mean, I am big on tinder as much as I am on my fire tools. And I have one of the Nano Strikers here as well, again from Exotac. They do give us a 20% discount on anything that you buy at Exotac, and you can, the link's down below. Also, I do have a knife in here as a striker and just for other necessary purposes. And so this is just a small but yet very vital kit, and I like to keep it in one place. Dude wipes. This is going to keep you clean. It's going to keep up your hygiene. It can also be used as toilet paper. So I like these kind of dude wipes, combat wipes, just regular baby wipes. But they do dry out over time, so you need to monitor that. Now I have an emergency radio. Now we could have some ham radio in here, or I could have some GMRS family radios, but I want to know what's going on around me, and a radio is the best way. This is the C-Crank. It's the Radio Solar. Great little radio, solar power, hand crank, Has a light, of course, rechargeable batteries, and we just did a full review. This thing is great. And I've just been really impressed with this little radio, and it's small, so I like that. And they make much smaller ones as well. Bandana, there's 1,000 uses. It can cover your head, it can wrap around your neck, you can use this as a bandage, a number of different things. Plus, if it gets smoke or debris and there's dust flying around, you can wear this and cover your face. So this covers the rule of threes as far as 3 minutes without air. And I just have some gloves, and they're mechanics gloves. Protects your hand, does give you some warmth, but these are not really heavy-duty gloves. I would recommend, though, in the wintertime when you change things out to get you a little bit more insulated gloves. Now, I have a small little stove, and this is an MSR, and it actually just fits together, and we have some fuel here. But I also have one of the Pathfinder little cups, and this is great for cooking. And I have a lid, and this is from Dave Canterbury. It can also be used as a canteen. Multiple uses. Having a container is going to be very important, and it needs to be metal so you can put it over a fire. Now, also for shelter, I have a large tarp, and this is actually a insulated tarp. It has camo on this side, that way I can stay hidden if I have to, or at least stay kind of incognito, and then it has that mylar inside to keep you warm, like a space blanket. But it's heavy duty. It has eyelets, and we'll look at this as far as making this into a tent, into a shelter. You can do a lot of things with a small tarp like this, a windbreak, just shade. So having a good tarp, and I'll have the names of a lot of this stuff down below in the description because I've forgotten what this is called. And speaking of shelter, I have one of the S.O.L Escape Bivvies. This is like a sleeping bag. It has the mylar inside. You can get in it. It's just a great way to stay warm, but also in case someone goes into shock. You can put this over them or around them, and this is going to help. So I like to have some redundancy, and guys, I don't carry a tent, which I could. There's some ultralight tents that probably would work fine, but this is my setup. Also, I have my food. Now, this has a couple of Backpackers Pantry dinners in here, so I can actually use my stove and I can fix some food. And this is going to be something that just builds morale. And so I have a couple of different styles here. I also have lifeboat bars. Now, a lifeboat bar, it'll keep you from getting thirsty. It's a 2,600 calories, so this is going to go a long way. I can just open it and eat it. And I don't have to do any preparation, so I really like that. And here I have a couple of protein bars just for a good measure. These you're going to need to make sure that you rotate in and out because these can go rancid because of all the nuts. On the lifeboat bars, they'll last for 5 years. So this is just one of those options that I keep in all my packs. And I keep it in a dry sack. I do have another bandana. This is one thing I like to have redundancy. Now this is a big one, and this is the Maxpedition Platypus. They make a couple of different sizes. This is a little bit larger one. What I love about this is it has a lot of my survival needs all in one compact pack. So if I get separated from my bag, if something happens, it falls off a mountain or somebody takes it. If I have this strapped to me, then I have a lot of survival supplies. And what I have is a multi-tool, and it's the SOG Power Lock. And then I have a Spyderco Mantis X, so I have a knife. And then I have Right and Rain pad with pen. And then here at the back, I have one of the Exotac Fire Rods XL. This is huge, and it has fire tinder in the top. So if for some reason I get separated from my fire kit, this is my backup. And it's a large backup. Also, I have a little zippered compartment here in the back, and I have a Frontier filter straw. This is for water, and this will filter 11 gallons of water. And I have a little medical kit. It's a boo-boo kit, but it has a lot of different items. So this pretty much gives me almost everything I need. Probably it would be nice to throw in a little space blanket in here if I really needed to that was compact, just to give me a fighting chance. But this will go in your cargo pocket. You actually have a paracord string that comes up, and you could put this over your neck or as a crossbody piece and keep it separate on your person at all times in the bag, and it gives you a fighting chance. Then I have a couple of heavy meal trash bags. This is a big deal for me. I have these in all my packs. These are Contractor's bags. And they fold out large. You can carry water. You can make this into a shade. You can lay this on the ground to insulate the ground from your body. a bazillion uses, and it can even be used as a poncho for rain. And so this is one thing that I like to have. You can get these at Home Depot and Lowe's. They come in a big box. They're very reasonable, and you can put them in all your different packs. And we use these around the house. Then I have a small admin pouch. Now this is really more of a toolkit, and it's something I kind of put together. It's not really full. It's not really all that organized. But here I have a whistle with a compass. Whistles are going to be important, especially in a crowd with a lot of people shouting, and you can get over the crowd with the whistle. Or for security, if people are messing with you and you need something to be able to alert authorities if you are in that kind of situation. And I have a small Gerber. This is a sharpener where I can sharpen not only my knives, but any kind of tools that I have. And then I have a silcock wrench. Now, if you've ever been in a city and you've seen a water faucet, but the handle has a little nub on it, there's no handle, this is what you use to get water. So if you happen to be in an urban situation, or for that matter, even a suburban area, these can really come in handy, and that'll get you water. I have a fishing kit in here, and then I have some extra batteries. Then again, I do have more room, but this is the PicoFire Pro from Roaring Fire Gear, and I'm gonna tell you what, guys, hands down, this is one of the best little small pouches out on the market. It is just excellent. Hook and loop filled, couple of zippers. I like it has a lock for your zipper, and the pulls are nice. Highly recommend this pouch. And as far as the main compartment, that's it, but it does have a divider, but otherwise it's pretty open. Now here we're at the top area. This is what folds over. First I have a Silky saw. Silky saws are one of the top tools I use for cutting. And I've actually discovered this at a Fieldcraft Survival School. Lieutenant Mike, he said, try this out, and I have been hooked ever since. So this is one thing I think that I do have in all my packs. All my family has them in different sizes. This is the Gomboy, but they do make different sizes that can fit whatever you want to do. Then the ESEE 4. And this is a 4-inch blade. It's not really large. You can see I've used it quite a bit. These knives are fantastic, and it has a nice sheath, and it's got a full tang, and it has a nice pommel where I can put a lanyard. Having a good fixed blade knife, whatever it is, it's going to be vital. Then I have a map of the southwestern United States, but when I'm traveling to certain areas, let's say I'm going to North Carolina from South Carolina, I will have a North Carolina map. And if I'm going to other areas, I try to have those maps. This is just one that's pretty generic. But it's funny, a good friend of mine just sent this South Carolina map. It's a topo map. It has all kind of different information on here that's just really detailed. This is great. I don't know that I'd put it in my bug out bag, but this sure can go in my vehicle. Tent stakes, I can make them. These are MSR. These are really good tent stakes, but again, you can carve those out of wood if you have to. But I like to save a little bit of energy, and they don't take up a lot of room. Also, I have the Spool tool, which is a paracord organizer. These are great. I have a ton of them. I love these. They have a cutter. They even have a place for one of those small micro Bic lighters, but I find that those go out on a regular basis. So I actually took this one out because it wasn't working. But I have my little fire kit, and I can get to it if I need to kind of heat this end, if it needs to be, so it doesn't fray. And I believe that is all in the top compartment. Now in the next side compartment, we do have a pair of binoculars. This is going to be important to be able to see at distance, see detail. You may not be able to realize what's going on way up ahead. You see a group, use the binoculars, you can see maybe if they're up to something, you want to avoid that area. Or even on your property or when hunting. And that's one of the reasons why I like to have binoculars. I don't want to point my rifle with a magnified optic at someone. Binoculars work great. Also, zip ties. That's pretty self-explanatory. And light. Light is your #1 security tool, guys. And if I only had one light, it would be a headlamp. And this is the Perun Mini from Olight. It is an excellent headband. It gives me hands-free. I can put this around my head, and I can pull this out if I want, and I can use it just as a regular light. It does come with a clip, which I removed. I'm going to put it back on because it'll fit in my pocket very well. But these are excellent, and I can recharge these because I have my charging system with it. Also, the Warrior X. Now, this is great for a security light. You can use this as a self-defense tool if you need to, and it has a crenulated bezel. and it just gives you a lot of light, and you're going to need that. And then we have the O-Clip Pro, which is one of the most versatile little lights that I know of. Has magnetic capability, and you have that clip so you can put it on different places, and it has 3 different modes. This is just a great versatile little light. And then I have a couple of expanding towels. Just add water and it'll expand out. They're so tiny, it's great to fit in here. And I have a little more chapstick, which can be used as fire tinder. It is flammable, so having some chapstick put aside is a great choice. Plus, it'll keep your lips from being chapped. And then here on the other side, I have some more backup batteries. This is the Vault, and it's the Thyrum. I've had these for a number of years. I can put my CR123s in here, close that up. It seals it, keeps it waterproof, and it's just cool. I can actually put this on my belt if I wanted to. Having a battery backup, and this is the Dark Energy power source. These are fantastic. They last for a long time. They hold the charge for a long time. I keep these around. I have an Olight flashlight charger, and I have my charging cable, which is USB-C, so this is also a great option. And also we have a Spork, and this is a K-bar. And what I love about this, it has the fork and the spoon, but then you can pull this apart and it has a small knife. Now this is polymer and it can be used for different things, but it's just a great option and it's really handy. And I have a standard charging cable, and this will actually charge my phone, USB-C. And I have a compass. If you've got the map, you put the compass with it, you can kind of navigate your way. So having a compass, even if you're not that versed in navigation, a good compass will at least give you a certain heading and direction. And guys, that's pretty much all of it. Now, one thing I would like is to put down in the comments some things that you use that you really like that go in your bag. Maybe there's something that I've missed. Put that down in the comments. That's one of the big things that's really a plus for what we do here, is there's a huge community of people really wanting to be prepared, and the better my neighbors prepared, the better I'm prepared. Guys, when it comes to fire, it is essential to survival, and having a good fire kit and knowing how to use it is vital for survival situations. And Exotac makes the best fire starters on the market. Made in the USA, down in Winder, Georgia. Using really high-grade aluminum, they machine some really beautiful handles, a lot of different features, replaceable ferro rods, and a number of other different fire starting tools. You get 20% off using Suits20 with the link down below in the description. And a big thank you to Exotac for sponsoring today's video. I mean, guys, let's face it, there's a lot of options, and you need to pick what works best for you. Again, this is kind of a compromise. I definitely like this better for my car. I can open it up, everything's right there. But a backpack also gives me more mobility, and honestly, I can travel farther. You can have a small backpack that's just empty and have it set aside in case you need to go on foot. But again, guys, remember that if you're on foot, you are just a glorified refugee. And so that is really a last-ditch effort. So guys, having the needed items that you carry with you in your vehicle on a regular, everyday, guys, a personal SHTF can come up at any time. But to be honest with you, a real crisis can also happen. And this puts you in a great position to be able to survive. And that's the big deal, is having the items we need to get us through the day, get us home, and so we can take care of our family and our loved ones. Or again, it may just be one of those personal SHTF that just affects you and you only, and yet you have the items you need. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. It's a North Face. It's one of their duffels. I don't know what the heck it is, but I'm gonna find out. In the top sheet, we got a top sheet. I could put some kind of respirator or something in here, but instead, okay, where is it? I don't even know where it is. Pack, a little bag, and it unfolds, but yet it really unfolds to something really well. I really like to have a get-home bag, something I need to get to, but there are items that I really can't fit in the get-home bag, and having a bug-out bag,